our ability, our ability to look at challenges, to look at problems, to look at adversities, is what brings excellent leadership. And of course, those abilities are based on quite a number of issues. Number one, understanding the contextual information. The contextual information here says, divide this cycle into 11 pieces by making 4 straight lines. The one important instruction is that 4 lines. It only says 4 lines. That's number one. Number two, it didn't ask us to draw 4 equal lines. It didn't say 4 equal lines. And therefore we are not constrained by the way and manner that we draw the lines. But of course we know what a line is. So therefore it requires what? One, it requires some level of knowledge, it requires some level of focus, it requires some level of creativity, creative thinking with respect to how we would help to get some kind of solutions. So I said this is a sample solution. You're almost there. Almost there. These are just 4 lines, and we're able to get how many pieces? 11 pieces. We didn't say 11 equal pieces. Hello? Anyway, I'm sure we're awake now, right? Good. We have had quite a number of revolutions as far as education, for instance, is concerned. The first revolution that we have is changing the responsibility of education from parents to teachers and from home to school. That's the first one. The second is replacement of the oral instructions by written words that we are able to now write and communicate. Hello? I'm looking at this so that we can also look at the perspective as far as life is concerned, in terms of continually changing, the way it starts. The third revolution is the invention of a printing press and subsequent availability of books. Then we have quite a lot of books. And the last one, of course, is the invention of electronics that led to the application of mass media and ICT. So the adoption of ICT has actually made, led to the fourth revolution as far as education is concerned. When we take ICT, we also see, a number of revolutions that has actually come in. And of course, because it's not an IT class, I do not intend to actually go into the details of all the various revolutions that we actually had in IT. But life generally, even in technology, we've also had, quite a number of revolutions that we have seen. Hello? All these revolutions that we have seen evolve came out as a result of recognition of a problem, recognition of a challenge. Because in the first instance, when the responsibility of education was moved from parents to teachers, was because it is absolutely very, very difficult for a parent to be able to gather quite a number of other families actually in their own home. That the parents or the family is only able to educate, the family. But there was need for a more expanded, platform for education, and that was why the school came up. Hello? If a problem was not identified then, we wouldn't have been in the second revolution. If the problem in the second revolution has not been identified, we wouldn't be in the third revolution, and we wouldn't be in the fourth revolution. And that is what life is all about, across. So therefore, whatever state we are in, as a country, as a nation, as an individual, as an organization, as an institution, you need to be able to identify and recognize some problems, some challenges, in order to be able to move ahead. I can give examples of where we are today. I'm sure majority of us here are in Jos. You know, about a week ago, some of the parents, you know, probably parents and staff of even the university, pushed students to protest against the increase of fees, increase of charges within the university. And of course, most of the time we do that because we don't have the knowledge. Like in the exercise, as soon as I said, I want you to divide this, the cycle into using 4 lines into 11 pieces, a lot of you shouted, it's never going to be possible. It's not possible at all. And it is the same thing. So a lot of people think, well, why should we increase student charges? But it is because we don't understand the problem. When we understand the problem, we therefore have an opportunity to create the future. And like I was telling, you know, a lot of people, including students and even the media, is that, look, we know we have problems in this country. Whether you like it or not, there are problems. And one of the things that we look at is we look at the trends. The trend, you know, in our society. And what is the trend? Majority of anyone that is 40 and above in this country must have attended a public primary school, must have attended a public secondary school, must have attended only a public university. But what have we seen coming? Over the years, if I ask a question here, how many of you parents here that send your children to public primary school? How many of you? Public primary school. Please raise up your hand so that we can take an example. How many of you send your children to public secondary school? So what happened? What was the problem? We are now sending our children to private primary school, private secondary schools, because there was a problem in the public institutions. But I think because the leaders of those institutions then did not see the problem and capitalize on the opportunity to maintain these institutions. And the challenge was simple. Because government was not funding, government was not providing proper funding of the institutions, and parents, because they believe that public institution is an institution that no kobo of a parent should go there, they withdrew, but prefer to pay more and go into private institutions. So that's the challenge, that's the problem that we are in. I told you I was going to speak by my experience. So I'm sorry, I may go outside of the context, but it's the experience of leadership that I want to share. So when we saw the challenge, when we saw the trend, as recent as 2008, in fact in 2001, there was only one private university in this country. Only one private university. How many private universities do we have today? Any guess? We now have 147 private universities. How many public federal universities? Only 51. Hello? But surprise, surprise, even as at the last year's admission, only 10% of the total number of students who want to go to university went to private universities. The previous year, there was only 5%. Hello? So we're also looking at the trend. But the trend is going to move on. The number going to private universities is likely to move on. But when you look at it, that the public universities are able to take up to 90% of the student population actually signifies something. So that's a challenge. That's a problem. We saw as leaders, we saw that as an opportunity to address the adversity.